When it comes to personal finance and likewise financial success, there's a theme that will hover over you and inhibit your ability to be financially successful. Until you address this theme, it will affect the way you try to increase your income, budget your money, and also spend your money. It seems your money is doing fine and it just finds some way of sneaking out of your bank account. So, what is that financial theme? I like to call it the financial villain of your journey. So, stay tuned to find out what the financial villain is and what you can do about it. Hello everyone, welcome to Financial Anatomy, the place where you'll learn how to take control of your financial destiny. My name is Elijah and I'm your host. After entering the world of finances right after high school, I saw that there are certain universal themes that ensure success when it comes to finances. I've had various positions in certain jobs at Whole Foods and Amazon. I've started my own business in the past. I currently make money online today, and I've also taken place in network marketing. And these themes, if you get them down, regardless of what career path you choose, you will be taken care of financially and you will always be moving forward. This time around, I feel the need to share this theme with the world because I don't think that anyone, especially young adults, should start their financial life with so much ambiguity. And since the school system has failed to prepare people for the real world, that's exactly what happens. So I'm here doing my part to educate you to make sure that you're successful and you have the tools to be successful financially. So what is a financial problem that's universal towards anyone who has anything to do with money, myself included? It all comes down to this. You need to learn how to get your earnings versus spending ratio in check. And we're going to break that down exactly. What do I mean by that? Because anytime this is out of whack, money seems to leave your budget and you don't know where it went or not enough money is coming in. So we're looking at the earnings part of it. Sometimes you just simply need to make more money. You can have the best financial systems in place, but if there's no money to count, is it really going to do any good? Now, when it comes to spending money, it's an art. You need to know how to spend money in certain places to make sure that your basis is covered. And if you fail to do this, ultimately it's going to come back to bite you in some way. And there's a few ways that can happen. So without further ado, we're going to break down exactly how do you address this earnings versus spending ratio, because you need to address it in different ways and each way has its own flavor. So let's start off with number one, and it's going to be focusing on the earnings part, but it's simply just increasing income. So many people want to get around this. You can what they call penny pinch, use coupons to save all this money, be a minimalist, if that's what they call it. There's scenarios in life where it doesn't matter how much budgeting you do, how much money saving you do, how much penny pinching you do, using coupons at stores, just the whole 9 yards. Sometimes you can't get around the fact that you got to just increase your income. And if you don't know how to increase your income, that's the first thing you have to address. Now, income comes in different flavors. There's passive income and there's active income. I'm not going to go into that in this video because a video on that is coming up. If you're looking at this a little later in the timeline, my upload timeline, click on the card in the top right hand corner. You can check that video out. But it's important you know this because when you're looking to increase income, you want to make sure it's the right income that you need at that time. Obviously, active and passive incomes play different roles in the budget. Got to make sure that you're getting the right one based on your needs. To bring this home, we're going to take a look at a few examples. Take, for instance, a lawyer who needs to make more money to save up for their children's college fund, okay? Now, they make decent money, but they just need to increase their income. So they go out and get a second job. While working that second job, it's very hard work in addition to the full-time job they already have as being a lawyer. One or two things is going to happen. They're either going to burn out or they're going to get so stressed that something happens. Based on the scenario, that might not have been the best option for that lawyer. Maybe they should have took a look at passive income, but a job is active income. Now, there's nothing wrong with that necessarily, but based on what's going on in that lawyer's life, maybe it would have been in his best interest to seek passive income when he is looking at another opportunity. That's an example of you want to make sure you choose the right income. Let's switch it over to the other side of the extreme. Let's take someone in their 20s. they really want to save up money for their first house and they're still living with their parents. So they have a part-time job. They read a bunch of stuff online and, hey, I really want to make more money. I want to make more passive income. I want to move into my house earliest next year. So they give themselves a year time limit. Well, anyone who knows anything about passive income, it takes time to build. If they really want to make that time frame, they should be seeking active income. They should look at getting another job or acquiring a skill set so they can bring more value to the marketplace to make more money. Okay, so this is what I mean by you want to pick the right type of income. But like I said, we'll go deeper into that in the video I mentioned before. Moving on from income, we're going to go down to the spending. And the first tier when it comes to spending is a plan to spend the money. And this is where we're taking a look at budgeting. Now, if you don't have the right budget, you can have all the earnings in the world. It's just not going to serve you because money is going to slip through your budget and you don't know what happened to it. So what makes a successful budget? Well, a budget needs to have 5 things. And if you're self-employed or have your own business, add another one, so it'll be 6 for you. But it needs to have these things covered, so you'll be covering all your bases. First one, you need to have a plan to spend money on yourself, to pay your expenses or bills, to have a savings account, some money for investments, money for donations, and finally for business. And they are not necessarily in that order. The order depends on what's going on in your life. But you want to make sure that you're spending money in all of those categories, because if you don't, you're going to suffer the repercussions. If you don't spend money on yourself, you're going to start feeling like a slave. You're going to burn out way before you hit your financial goals. Spending money on yourself serves as a emotional recovery you need to keep going. If you don't have a savings, well, if some kind of financial disaster happens, and it doesn't even have to be catastrophic, it just be something simple like your transmission going out. It sets you back financially, or it could actually just rock the whole boat. Obviously don't want that. I don't think I need to explain what happens if you don't pay your bills. You can use your imagination for that one. I mean, no need to even explain that. And if you don't spend money on investments, investing is the subtle art of having your money come back to you with a little more of it. And if you're not doing that, you're always just working for money. You don't never seem to really get a break. And if you just don't spend any money on donations, well, you're not really racking up good karma in the bank. And anytime you need something, well, it may not necessarily come. So you want to make sure you're supporting whatever things that you deem valuable. What I mean by that is nonprofits. For instance, I'll use myself as an example. I've been a vegan for about 8 years. So there's certain organizations that teach veganism or plant-based diet, nonprofits. I support them financially. That's an example. And obviously, if you have a business, a certain percentage of that does need to be put back into the business. Now note this isn't for a big business, it's for something small. Big businesses have their own financial protocols. So if it's a big business, this doesn't really apply to you. This is more for self-employed or people who are, it's more of a self-run operation, aren't employees, anything like that. You get where that's going. So moving on from the budget, we want to go to the actual spending of money. Yes, spending is a skill set in itself. And if you don't spend money on these categories, we already talked about there's going to be problems, but we have emotional strengths and weaknesses just based on our personality. Some people, they have no problem spending money on themselves. Some other people feel guilty. Some people they have phobias about investing. Some people get excited about it. I'm not going to go through each category because you see where I'm going, but you need to know what your strengths and weaknesses are. You need to make a promise to actually work on your weaknesses. I mean, the only way you're going to get more comfortable with spending money on things that you're hesitant about, and you know that they serve a purpose, but you're just hesitant about, you actually have to start doing it. So educate yourself on the areas that, I don't want to spend money there. It's just, I don't feel that good. Educate yourself so you can spend the money in a skillful way, and it gets easier and easier. And there you have it. These are the ways that you can address this earnings versus spending ratio issue or defeat the financial villain. Now, if I had to summarize everything I just said, I call it financial savviness. Now, what is financial savviness? Financial savviness is the ability to make good judgments when it comes to finances. So if that's something you find intriguing, something you really want to gain a handle on, which by default knocks this earnings versus spending problem out of there, you might want to consider subscribing, because that's literally what this channel is about. And if you like this video, please give a like for the YouTube algorithm. It helps out a lot. And give this video a share if you see anyone that can benefit from it, or just have some of the problems that we mentioned. As usual, you can reach out to me in the comments or shoot an email. This has been Elijah with Financial Anatomy, and don't forget to go out there and take control of your financial destiny. See you in the next video.